Castellano here, and today I want to talk to you about clearing out your cabinets. Now, I know you spent some money on some food, and I got to tell you, one thing, I always thought that I was eating pretty healthy, but I went through my cabinets and I literally found some stuff that I never should have in my cabinets. And I'm gonna talk to you about what they are and why they shouldn't be anywhere near your cabinets. Okay? So the first thing that I saw, and I'm not sure, because I don't really buy vegetable oil. I think my girlfriend Tara did, but it was in my cabinet, so I don't want it there, because when I look, you think, okay, well, the ingredients are obviously oil, and it says pure vegetable oil on here, but the reality is that it's soybean oil. Now, I want to tell you, I have some articles and some blog posts and some other videos pertaining to soybeans, soybean oil, and soybean products. But one thing that I am going to tell you right now is that you need to get soy and soybeans out of your diet, specifically processed soy. So if you see anything that says soy lecithin, soybean oil, anything that is, hydrogenated soybean oil, anything that has soy in it. Now, you're like tofu and that type of like curd stuff, that's not going to kill you. That's not really that bad for you. But the processed soy I'm talking about, and there's so many things in your grocery aisle and maybe in your cabinet, just like mine, there's pure vegetable oil that you thought was a good low-calorie oil is actually bad for you. Soy, and specifically soybean oil, becomes rancid and oxidizes just like a lot of other oils in your cabinet. Specifically walnut oil, peanut oil, canola oil. Everybody thinks that canola oil is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not, okay? It's a polyunsaturated fat. You really don't want to be taking in polyunsaturated fats. You want the fats, and especially from plants, to be more saturated. So, also, corn oil, soybean oil in the same category. So, vegetable oil out. Now, what do we replace vegetable oil with, and if you cook with it? The only two oils that I have in my cabinet now is a coconut oil. Now, coconut oil, there's a lot of, it's like the new thing. Oh yeah, everybody's, coconut oil. But the reality is that coconut oil is a saturated oil, okay, or a saturated fat, we'll say. But one of the main things that coconut oil does, beyond the other health benefits and all the different things that you can do with it, you can put it on your skin, you could cook with it. It's a great medium to high heat oil. But when you take it, now I take a tablespoon of coconut oil with every meal. So because coconut oil amps up your thyroid and helps to heal your thyroid, because there's so many thyroid suppressors out there. In order to amp up and to help your body metabolize energy, you want to be taking in more coconut oil. Now, The one thing that you want to definitely, because there's different looks to the coconut oil, and that coconut oil, you know, refined or extra virgin, it's the same thing. You know, sometimes unrefined, it's a lot cakier, but also if it smells like coconut, you don't want it. The coconut oil that you want doesn't smell like anything, and it's just oily. It looks like that, but when you basically heat it up just a little bit, it becomes liquefied. So this is one of the staples in my cabinet now. And I'll just lick it because it doesn't really taste like anything. The other one, oh, and by the way, this doesn't break down and it doesn't become rancid. It doesn't oxidize because it is a saturated fat. So it takes a little while. Polyunsaturated fats oxidize very, very quickly when you open them and then you store them in your cabinet. Olive oil. You know, being Italian, I grew up on olive oil. It was it was definitely a staple, and it's always been a staple in my cabinet because it again does not break down like the vegetable oils do, and it actually lasts in your cabinet, and it's a great tasting oil. So when you throw this out, make sure that your staple oils are coconut oil and olive oil. Any other oil, you know, and you're going to hear, oh, the great benefits of like walnut oil, you know, peanut oil, this, you know, it's all garbage. And I will get into it in future blog posts. But now this is just Rocco being stupid, because I didn't even check what was on the, you know, on thing, but I like ice cream. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about ice cream in a second. But, you know, we have to take in fat, and there's certain ice creams, and, you know, I like to make some homemade ice cream. I'm going to show you how to make it soon. But, you know, I wasn't really thinking. And I got some waffle cones because sometimes I'm an idiot. But I looked on it, and the first thing was hydrogenated soybean oil and or cottonseed oil. So it just goes in the garbage. The same thing, soy. And I have some theories about a population suppression that I'm going to be talking to you about, because I really believe that soy and soy products are really starting to cause a lot of the infertility. That, you know, infertility's up 65%. Again, I'm going to get into that on future blog posts, but they're my theories and my ramblings. I don't necessarily have a lot of research right now on it. I have seen some research on it, but you can't, the company Monsanto, you can't do any research in regards to soybean, because they control literally all the crops of soybean in America. One company controls all the soybeans in America. Can you imagine that? One company. How is that good for our food supply? So that's some other stuff that we're going to be talking about. But one thing, I told you, ice cream, you know, waffle, whatever. But I do like chocolate goat's milk, and I drink a goat's milk, and I like chocolate milk, and I like to put some on my ice cream too. You know, I mean, because I don't believe that you should do without ice cream. But right here, first ingredient: high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup, water, and then the rest is like cocoa and salt and all that good stuff. The thing is, most of the stuff that you have been hearing about high fructose corn syrup is absolute bullshit. Okay, I want you to understand that. The Corn Refiners Association, and you'll see a link to their website below here. The Corn Refiners Association spent $30 million in that goofy ad campaign about, oh, you heard about high fructose corn syrup, and then they tried to tell you that it's good, it's just like sugar, and it's good in moderation. Well, it's not. That is absolute bullshit. And the reality is that high fructose corn syrup is a processed corn sugar. And they want to call it corn sugar too, which is, again, bullshit. But they say that high fructose corn syrup is the same as sugar, meaning table sugar, which is pure sucrose. And it's absolutely not. The actuality of the corn syrup, the high fructose corn syrup, is that it has a sucrose sugar and a fructose sugar. Now I'm going to talk to you again about fructose. Fructose is getting this bad rap because it's in high fructose corn syrup. Not because it's actually a bad sugar, because fructose alone in fruit is actually a really good simple sugar, and you should be taking it in. But fructose in high fructose corn syrup is really bad because you have two sugar molecules, and the body assimilates the sucrose, and then what happens is the fructose molecule is a free-floating sugar, and what happens is it kind of wreaks havoc as a free-floating sugar. And basically it's bouncing around, smacking things and damaging cells. And so what the body does in its infinite wisdom is it basically says, hey, you can't do that. You can't be floating around and just causing, a wreaking havoc on my body. So what happens is the liver says, you know what, fructose, you're not staying here. You're going to be stored as fat so that we can contain you. We want to contain you. And called up a Professor Bart Hobel down at Princeton University because I wanted to find out some of the stuff that he was doing. He is finding out right now, as I do this video, that rats. Now, I know the Corn Refiners Association is going to say, oh, well, human studies and rat studies. Well, you know what? 30 years now, high fructose corn syrup has been in soda, has been in the food supply, and what has happened? 65% of America is now fat. When the soda companies and the beverage companies and the food supply had sucrose in it and actual sugar, we didn't get that fat because the body was able to assimilate the sucrose. And the sugar, I want all the beverage companies to go back to using the sugar. Now, should you be drinking 10 Cokes a day or like 10 sodas a day, even with sugar in it? No, you shouldn't. Because there is a limit to how much actual sugar you should be taking in also. But sucrose in moderation, not high fructose corn syrup in moderation, is going to be better for you. Sucrose is actually a good sugar, and so is fructose, but not in high fructose corn syrup. So anything that you see in your cabinet that has high fructose corn syrup, and I know I'm going to be getting mail and emails and all that shit from people, from corn farmers and all the, you know what? The corn that people grow now tastes like shit. So that's not real. You know, that all of that corn has to be processed into bullshit. Okay, so anything that has high fructose corn syrup in it, get it out of your kitchen, out of your cabinet, because high fructose corn syrup will make you fat. Absolutely will make you fat, because the fructose is then stored. Now, you know, eat fruit, because that fructose is actually good for you. The high fructose corn syrup, horrible for you, and you will get fat.